Mr. Vince Wilson, a senior counsel and member of the Rajya Sabha, will share his perspective with us.
Thank you, Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul. Honorable Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Honorable Justice M.M. Sundresh, Honorable Justice Bela Trivedi, judges who have come to attend this meeting, distinguished speakers, guests, ladies and gentlemen, press and media, Vanakkam. It's my immense pleasure to join you for the Bar Council of India's International Lawyers Conference 2023, and a privilege indeed to address the first technical session alongside of honorable judges, eminent dignitaries, and my distinguished colleagues at the bar. At the outset, I thank the Bar Council of India Chairman, Mr. Manan Kumar Mishra, the Bar Council of India Vice Chairman, Mr. Prabhakaran, and all his entire team for giving me this opportunity to speak in this elite gathering. Friends, today I should have left to Uruguay, South America, in the four-member parliamentary delegation to attend the Second World Summit of Committees of Future Parliament, where we are going to deliberate on the global laws. And when Mr. Prabhakaran, at the instance of Mr. Manan Kumar Mishra, called me and asked me that I should participate, I requested my chairman, Mr. Jagdeep Dhankar, the Vice President of India, and he was so kind enough to postpone my trip alone to tomorrow morning in order to enable me to attend this conference. And he was so kind, and he inquired about this lawyers' conference. So I have to say this. Friends, human civilization is about to enter a period of profound technological advancement. The era of artificial intelligence is well and truly upon us. When such a civilizational transformation occurs, law has to keep pace with it. I think the evolution of law has had 2 or 3 such moments where it has been forced to evolve rapidly in response to a particular human activity. For example, when the internet connected the whole world, we had to strengthen legal framework to meet the challenges it brought. Industrialization brought with it challenges of environmental degradation. We had to address that issues through a global law because of the transboundary harm that pollution brings. Artificial intelligence technologies, including machine learning techniques and automated decision-making process systems, are expected to bring a wide array of economic and societal benefits in many sectors. Companies that are developing these emerging technologies have a responsibility to ensure their products are safe. These commitments, which the companies have chosen to undertake immediately, underscore 3 principles that must be fundamental to the future of artificial intelligence, namely safety, security, trust, and mark a critical step towards developing responsible artificial intelligence. The government has to have a draft policy guidance to ensure the development, procurement, and use of the artificial intelligence systems, safeguarding the people's right and safety. Friends, judiciary has started using artificial intelligence. I was present in Supreme Court when Constitutional Bench, headed by Honorable Chief Justice of India, was hearing a case. Honorable Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul is also part of that bench. Chief Justice was telling Mr. Kapil Sibal, a senior advocate who was appearing for one of the parties, that all his arguments are typed with the help of artificial intelligence. And end of the day, it will be circulated among the advocates for their approval. That's how the artificial intelligence is now used in judiciary. Hereafter, you can't escape from the court after making your arguments. It will be recorded. Our new parliament building is adopting advanced artificial intelligence systems. Friends, India is a leading country in entire global in the field of artificial intelligence, and is holding the presidential post in the Committee of Artificial Intelligence. Artificial intelligence is introduced in very many fields in India, in health, agriculture, and so on. However, the risk posed by these new technologies, especially for the human rights and fundamental freedoms, including with regard to the discrimination, data protection, and privacy, have to be deliberated. The laws on the artificial intelligence is different in each of the country. India is yet to legislate on it. Given the prevailing circumstances, the requirement of having a unified global legal framework has increased. International law can be nothing more than a set of basic universal concepts for the realization of the global legal rights. It cannot be a parallel legal system to nations' domestic law. Each country will have its own laws and ways of dealing with issues. So we cannot thrust on a country a system of law. But there are certain fundamentals we can ensure compliance. In areas relating to human rights, taxation, arbitration, climate change, banking law, we must come together to set a base from which nations can model their national laws. Take, for example, environmental laws. Sustainability, polluter pay principles, and intergeneration equality must be the key philosophies that form the basis of the laws of all countries. In arbitrations, we must do more to ensure smooth enforcement of foreign awards in all jurisdictions. That is the key to success of international arbitration. I am sorry to say that in India, we have not yet come to a stage where we can enforce foreign awards with the speed and zeal that is required. Often, courts sit in the judgments over the foreign award. Foreign awards are always looked at with suspicion. There is a feeling as if we lose the superiority of Indian laws and courts if we enforce foreign awards. That has to change. Similarly, when it comes to anti-suit injunctions granted by the foreign jurisdictions, it becomes a question of us versus them. It has somehow become a question of dominance. It should not be looked at through the lens of how can a court or a tribunal in London or a Singapore injunct an Indian court. We should instead look at these issues as if the global legal system is one interconnected mission where each part is doing a separate job. If we enforce foreign awards efficiently, our awards and orders will be followed and enforced in the jurisdiction. That is also key to make India a hub for arbitration. You will be aware about the mediation laws, and in fact, the entire judiciary has cooperated for bringing this mediation laws. And I would thank our Honorable Justice Sanjay Kaul, who was a key role, who has played a key role in helping us to shape the law. I would also like to focus today on the emergent need of a strong, predictable, reliable global framework for preventing human rights violations of minorities and safeguarding their rights through effective implementation of anti-discrimination laws. The pressing issue among all issues is the human rights violation across the world. Even though UDHR has inspired a rich body of legally binding international human rights treaties that continues to be an inspiration to us all in addressing injustices, in times of conflicts, either cross-boundary or within territory, we have witnessed gross abuses. Time has come where all states must stand in solidarity against such human rights violations happening in any part of the world. A glance of multiple reports released by the UN would reveal that the worst sufferers of the human rights violations are the minorities of the world. The term minorities refers to the members of the four categories, which are national, ethnic, religious, and linguistic minorities, as set out in the declarations on the rights of persons belonging to national or ethnic, religious, and linguistic minorities. The right to equality and non-discrimination is at the heart of the minority rights. The realization of the rights of national, ethnic, religious, and linguistic minorities necessitates effective protection and fulfillment of the right to non-discrimination. As such, the enactment, enforcement, and implementation of a comprehensive anti-discrimination law is essential if states are to fulfill their obligation to respect, protect, and fulfill the rights of minorities. The prohibition of discrimination inheres within minority rights. All states must ensure that all aspects of the right to non-discrimination are effective in their efforts to guarantee minority rights. This includes ensuring the laws, policies, and practices do not discriminate directly or indirectly against members of minority communities while enabling them to enjoy their cultures, professing or practicing their religions, or use of their languages. We understand that finding a uniform baseline for individual freedoms is tough across the globe. Each country's society, culture, and traditions dictate their interpretations of freedoms. However, we must all understand in today's global civilization, the right to free speech, movement, marriage, self-determination, sexual orientation must be inalienable and guaranteed. States do not meet their international legal obligation by simply defining and prohibiting discrimination. They must also, among other things, adopt positive measures designed to accelerate progress towards equality for those subjected to historic disadvantage or otherwise unable to participate on an equal basis. States' effort should include and go beyond countering prejudice, stereotypes, and stigma if they are to uphold their commitments and keep their promises to end discrimination and ensure equality of participation. The emphasis should be on actively fostering equitable, varied, and inclusive societies, as well as aggressively combating harmful social forces. Similarly, I feel India needs to strengthen its banking laws to keep pace with the global trends of cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies. Right now, we have stopped with the taxation of these transactions. I foresee that in the future, these types of currencies will become mainstream in other countries. We must put in place the foundational building blocks now itself so that we are not caught by surprise at a later point of time. I don't think there is any use in resisting technological advancement such as these because they will inevitably grow. I once again thank the Bar Council, Mr. Manan Kumar Mishra and Mr. Prabhakaran for having given me this opportunity, and I look forward to hearing the other speakers and panelists throughout this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. I would now request Ms.Lubna Shuja, who is the President of the Law Society of England and Wales, to share her thoughts and ideas. She indicated she would like to...
I'll do it from here.
Are you comfortable there?
Fine, yeah.
Okay. Then you can address from here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Honourable Mr. Justice Kaul. Good afternoon, everyone. Can I start by saying a big thank you to the Bar Council of India and particularly to Chairman Mishra for inviting me to speak at this inaugural conference. It's an honour to be here in such esteemed company and on this panel with such distinguished speakers from the judiciary and from the legal fraternity. I also want to thank the Bar Council of India and the Indian government for their progressive approach to working to foster collaboration in the legal sector. As you have just heard, my name is Lubna Shuja. I'm the president of the Law Society of England and Wales. We represent, we support, and we protect the solicitor profession in England and Wales. We have over 200,000 members who are based in the UK and around the world. This is my second trip to India as president of the Law Society, and it is a great privilege to be here again to build on cross-country relationships. At the Law Society, we engage regularly with the UK and Indian governments, as well as with the Bar Council of India, to promote cooperation, to promote knowledge sharing between our two jurisdictions. This relationship is important to the legal professions, both here in India and also back home. UK and India already have very strong ties in numerous areas, such as trade, our laws, and of course culture. Who doesn't love a Bollywood film with Amitabh Bachchan in it? Who doesn't enjoy a good masala dosa? And we even have a Prime Minister of Indian heritage. The UK remains a welcoming destination for Indian business. For many, many years, our jurisdiction has been open to Indian lawyers and Indian law firms. The timing of this conference is an excellent opportunity for us to reflect on the merits of a globalized legal sector given the ongoing UK-India Free Trade Agreement negotiations. Closer ties through trade deals and a strong mutual understanding of the importance of international law can help all of us to address the global challenges that we face. Worldwide issues require a coordinated response. As lawyers, even though we come from many different jurisdictions, we are all connected. We are united by our common respect and commitment to justice, by our desire to safeguard the rule of law, and by our duties to the court and to our clients. These shared values give the legal profession its long-standing, strong reputation. All of us are bound by the highest ethical standards, and they are enforced through principles which are contained in a strict code of conduct. But our world is changing, and we've heard already about new technologies, we've heard about new issues which are throwing up unique ethical challenges for lawyers. This is where collaboration across jurisdictions is absolutely vital. The public must have faith in our legal systems and must trust the lawyers that they use. But those lawyers are finding more and more that they have to deal with constantly evolving concerns. Public attitudes, as well as media rhetoric, is constantly changing, sometimes in a matter of days, sometimes in a matter of weeks. Lawyers are increasingly having to work out, how do I deal with public opinion when it's impacting on my clients and on my business? Others have already spoken about climate change. This is a key global challenge. And in this context, we are seeing ethical issues for lawyers. Lawyers who are being criticized for acting for particular clients who may not be climate friendly. Lawyers' own carbon footprint is under scrutiny. The Law Society of England and Wales recently published the very first world-leading guidance for solicitors on the impact of climate change. And that guidance is available on our website for anybody who wants to have a look at it. Lawyers all around the world need to be aware of the potential consequences that concerns like climate change can have on their organizations. Our guidance covers concepts like greenwashing, how physical and climate legal risks might be relevant to legal advice that you are giving to your clients, and how lawyers can meet their own ESG aspirations. Cybercrime is another challenge that knows no boundaries. Client confidentiality and the potential loss of large sums of money are at risk every day if lawyers and law firms do not have robust systems and processes in place. In the UK, we recommend law firms should ensure they have cyber insurance in place to protect their businesses and their clients. Another global issue that we're dealing with, and again, we've heard a great deal about this already, is artificial intelligence. That is not currently regulated. Almost every solicitor that I speak to is worried about ChatGPT, and I'm sure many of you in the room know about ChatGPT. We know that there are law firms using ChatGPT to research case law. We also know that a law firm in New York used ChatGPT for research and relied on a case from ChatGPT when making submissions to the court. Despite ChatGPT providing a full case name, a citation, and a very detailed judgment, it turned out that the case that was mentioned in court in submissions did not exist. The firm that used that case was fined. In the UK, we are calling for the regulation of AI, and our government has recently consulted on this issue. And it's not just about the reliability of AI, but also the inherent biases that may be present in AI processes. So we have to proceed with caution when we rely on AI, because ultimately, the lawyer is responsible, not the machine. During my time as president, I have focused on professional ethics, and we have recently launched a professional ethics hub on our website to support members. Turning to international cooperation, I have been really, really proud to be part of the ongoing international cooperation between the UK and India. The current trade negotiations create an opportunity for our legal professions to benefit from each other's jurisdictions. In England and Wales, we have an environment that is open, a legal environment that is open to lawyers from all over the world. We are proud to be home to legal professionals from nearly 100 jurisdictions. We have over 200 foreign law firms based in the UK. This openness to international talent has helped to turn our country into a global leader. Our legal services sector adds £60 billion to the UK economy every year. It includes skills and expertise on foreign jurisdictions, which is not otherwise found domestically in the UK. The sector supports greater consumer choice, business outcomes, and economic growth. This means that clients can instruct lawyers in the UK who are able to advise them on foreign laws. Those clients don't have to take their business outside the UK to find the expertise that they need. Critically, this has supported investment coming into our country. International companies have greater comfort when they invest in countries where they can access legal services that they need using the lawyers that they are used to working with. Many Indian lawyers in the UK can work there without having to requalify. They can practice any area of law other than a small number of reserved legal activities, such as advocacy, conducting litigation, probate, and transfer of property. Those are the only things that Indian lawyers cannot do and foreign lawyers cannot do without qualifying as English solicitors. The English and Welsh legal community highly values the contribution that Indian and other foreign lawyers make to our profession. We are committed to making sure that we remain an open jurisdiction. There is no reason to believe that India could not enjoy similar success as an open jurisdiction in the future. The recent G20 summit showed that India is open for business. Your country is becoming increasingly welcome to foreign organizations and investment. Now is the time for both of our countries to engage around win-win opportunities to benefit our businesses, our citizens, and our economies. Today gives us an opportunity to celebrate the Bar Council of India's rules and regulations on foreign lawyers and foreign law firms operating in India. I want to reassure all of you that English and Welsh lawyers have no intention of taking your court work away from you. They will not practice Indian law. They are only interested in international law, cross-border work, and arbitration. They want to have an office in India so that they can provide advice on foreign law to their clients who have interests in India. Now, a lot of that work is already happening. It's already being done, but it's happening outside India, in places like London, like Dubai, and like Singapore. The new regulations will allow this work to remain in India, where it will benefit your economy as well as grow your profession. And that takes me into another global issue: developing our next generation of lawyers to meet worldwide challenges ahead of them. We must give hope and opportunity to our youth on both sides, as through them we build the world of the future. There's still work to be done to turn the regulations into a practical reality. English and Welsh firms are keen to work with and alongside Indian law firms and Indian lawyers. They want to offer you opportunities to work together for the benefit of all of our clients, whether that's through referral on areas of Indian law or through employment and partnerships. We know that working with local lawyers is critical to foreign law firms because local lawyers understand how things work on the ground here in India. The Memorandum of Understanding signed earlier this year by the Law Society of England and Wales, the Bar Council of India, and the Bar Council of England and Wales was a very positive step in the right direction. That memorandum will be of great value to each of our organizations. It will help to jointly address any challenges or obstacles to our shared ambition. At the center of the Memorandum of Understanding is a commitment to the rule of law, as well as to the principles of integrity and access to justice that each of our organizations stand by. I am very grateful to the Bar Council of India for organizing this conference. We have many distinguished speakers still to hear from, and I look forward to hearing from them, as well as speaking to many of you during the course of the conference. Let's work together. Let's work together and learn from each other to address the global legal challenges impacting on all of us. Thank you.
We have had the benefit of her participation and sharing her ideas from a different jurisdiction, how both the jurisdictions can work together in a sense. I would now like to request Mr. Nishith Desai, and Senior Counsel, to share his thoughts. Can I stand up and talk? Yes, whichever way you are.
We're not used to be sitting and talking and delivering, right?
You're most welcome.
You still have the appetite to listen to me? Are you sure? Okay. Nobody leaves this hall until I finish. I have been given 7 minutes, but Indian law, Indian stretchable time, no problem? No, don't worry. I'm not getting too much time. First of all, I'm so excited and I think very privileged to be in the midst of August panel here. I think I would not name everybody and take time out of my conversation, but everything that one would want to hear has been said. So now what I want to do is to share a little experience and share some thoughts and share some ideas, okay? That we are in the new world today. We talked about globalization at one point of time. I specialized globalization in 1977. At that time, we were all talking about Indianization. There was no taker for my work, so I had to develop practice, most of which evolved in the US, and some of the other practice grew for almost 10 years. Again, I practiced only Indian law, okay? They are very strict in the US. Even small mistake here and there can cost you enormously, okay? And sometime in 1980, I'm a counsel. In India, counsels don't set up law firms. In 1985, there was a Wall Street banker who suggested me that why don't you set up a law firm? So I said, why should I set up a law firm? It's nice life, free life, you know, solo and no hire, fire, all this kind of thing. But then I thought, let me study how these firms have become so large, so powerful, and they were all very small firms until 1950s and 60s, 70s even. Suddenly they grew very high. Because accounting, first of all, bankers became bigger and bigger. Accounting firms followed bankers, okay? And then law firms began to follow accounting firms. So craze for growth was getting bigger and scale up and all that. So scale up was the mantra, but scale up was meant to be sizing up. Like growing fat is different than scaling. Scaling up is going from this level to this level, okay? Sizing up is bigger. Anyway, I learned a lot in studying about 100 professional services organizations, including law firms, accounting firms, consulting firms. And after that, I was wondering, I'm a solo practitioner, what do I do? How do I compete? What do I do? When I looked at their history, their 100-year history, 200-year history, I have no history, what can I do? After a lot of thinking came up that an idea came that, if they can look back 100 years, I can look forward 100 years. And when we are resource starved, you are more creative. So what happened, and I'm a researcher, so what I thought, let me look at what are the things that are going to happen in the future, visualize today the problems of the future, be prepared for that, so when time comes, we can deliver our services in the shortest period of time with smallest teams, because they're already prepared. Otherwise, law firm model is very, very bizarre, that if you spend more time doing client's job, if you put more people on the job, we are more rewarded. Actually, it should be less time, less people, but you can do only if you have worked ahead of time. So philosophy came up that every new technology, every new business model, every new social, political, economic development brings along with it a new strategic, legal, tax, or ethical issues. Okay? Our role has already been automated as far as compliance is concerned. Next 5-7 years, you will have smart contracts, transactions will be automated with blockchain technology and stuff like that. But more important role will evolve into ethical issues at which India is extremely good. That is our positioning. We will be good at crisis management. We always work in chaos, okay? And we are very good at jugaad, but I think we have to become innovative now. I believe, in fact, so, I started looking at, new technologies that are going to come, hired some engineers who came up. I turned them into lawyers who will come and join me. Anyway, social scientists and stuff like that. I'm just not going to bore you with too many stories. But idea was to put together a team which was not just lawyers, but lawyers with other background. If you're only people with other background, they will not understand the ethics. We still are little old-style thinkers that we are in the profession of law, not in the business of law. Okay? So we have to imbibe that in the kind of thing. So anyway, so look to the future and prepare and write a lot of papers. In fact, I would have presented some 70 papers that we have written on futuristic, like ChatGPT, which is coming up, now smart metering, to flying cars we specialize now, because these are all the new areas which we have to really work on. Because there are three sets of Kal, Aaj or Kal. There are global problems of the past, which are still sitting and litigated. Second, new problems are coming up, many of them you mentioned about. Like, I personally feel that immigration is one of the most important law that we need to internationalize. There is no standard. It is a worst form of protectionism and against human rights. Every human being has a right to prosper. It's part of the human rights as well. Number two, that as far as immigrations are concerned, that is being used as a tool to, not allow other people to come in. We have offices in Silicon Valley, in New York, in Munich, Amsterdam, Singapore, everywhere I have seen there are a number of different things that you need to face, but we can do it. You won't believe that in 10 years' time, we are ranked as the most innovative law firm in whole of Asia, and almost not 1 year for 5 years, okay, by Financial Times of London. So we can do it. What I want to tell you today is that if we position ourselves right, we have excellent talent in India. All that we need is organizations that can nurture the talent. So let us build organizations. Don't need to be big, not to have very, I think, esoteric thing, but really put heart. We can compete anywhere in the world. Second thing I found, there is huge opportunity to contribute among the small economies. I was listening to the president of, what is it, near Indonesia, I forget that country. And he said, no consultant is coming to advise us. It produces world's best coffee. Okay. So, thing is that then Uzbekistan I have gone, many other countries we have gone, Mauritius, we develop entire financial sector there. So, in lighter vein, Prime Minister of Mauritius once said that 13% of Mauritius' economy is because of Nishith Desai. Okay. In fact, we developed Gift City later on. I had given Gift City idea in 2007 to Mr. Modi. It happened. We can do it. Singapore we have helped. Why not? If you ask me, when the British came, they gave us a better law than what they had. It was all unwritten, precedent-driven and whatnot, right? They codified, they improved on it. Just like if you go from an old house to the new house in society, you do a better job. They never thought India will leave. So British gave us better law than what it was. Indian law was already internationalized. In Singapore, Malaysia, Aden, Burma, you see same sections, almost same sections, right? Even 420 is section 420. Of course, all law is changing the number now, so I don't know what that number is. I'm sorry, I'm going a little long. But my point is that our law has already, has been global. And we can do it. I think with that spirit, we should do it. There are, as Lubna mentioned, that, the Indian law practice and foreign law practice and all that, that's all there. But I think if we really focus on what is the next, you'll do a lot of things. There are a lot of activities that can be possible. We will prepare for the future. That is where our future is. And I don't want to take too much time today, but some point in time, we have more time, most welcome. And we have a research campus in Bombay, most welcome there too, where we do most of the research on the international law. And I'm grateful to you for the patience and sorry for depriving you of lunch for 10-15 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Desai. Mr. Agarwal, the President of the Supreme Court Bar, is there. he would like to have a couple of minutes to say something.
I am delighted to be associated with this international conference, and I actually congratulate that our Chairman of Bar Council of India, Mr. Manan Kumar Mishra, and Vice Chairman, Mr. S. Bakaran, they have organized this international conference. This is the first time that the Bar Council of India has organized. When I was the member of Bar Council of India, that time in 1998 or 99, Bar Council of India organized national conference on electoral reforms. That is, that time the government was of Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Today the government is of Mr. Narendra Modi. There is a difference. That time it was Arun Kumar Mishra who later became the Honorable Judge of Supreme Court of India. So both Mishras, my lord, they first Mishra organized national conference. Later on, other Mishra organized international conference where all judges, senior judges are present. That time, Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the chief guest. Today, Mr. Modi is the chief guest. So, this is unique. At that time, there were talks with Bar Council, Law Society of England and Wales, and today, the President of the Law Society of England and Wales is with us. The Lord Chancellor of dealing with the justice was also here with us. And that time our delegation went on behalf of All India Bar Association and Bar Council. And today, under the leadership of able leadership, Mr. Arun, our Manan Kumar Mishra, we are completing those talks. And today the President of Law Society of England and Wales has clarified that they don't want to practice Indian law. That was our demand, and under the leadership, Honorable President of Law Society of England and Wales, rest assured, the all lawyers of India are under the umbrella of Mr. Manan Kumar Mishra. And whatever you have made statement, that will be adhered to. Whatever the statement made by our Honorable Chairman of Bar Council of India, that will be adhered by every lawyer of India. And the Government of India, under the able leadership of Mr. Narendra Modi, they are ready to do everything which is good for the people, not only of India and UK, for the entire world. Today, we are discussing on this issue, global law for global issues, international legal solution. In 2012, when we were having international conference on terrorism in London, Justice, our Lord Phillips of Worth Matter Awards, and the President of International Court of Justice, who was from Russia, Mr. Peter Tomka, all judges, all lawyers, all law teachers who attended that conference, that was one thing, they were unanimous that today international terrorism is the main issue which is to be tackled. That is the real issue which all the judges, lawyers, they have to tackle. And they have to ensure that law of the different countries should be as such that we can control the international terrorism. That is the main issue. If we are able to tackle international terrorism, then everything will be solved, and that is the reason I'm the last speaker. I'm the extra speaker, because one of our Honorable Chief Justice could not attend. So when I am getting special patronage from Bar Council of India, because I worked earlier as Vice Chairman. So today I'm happy that I have the opportunity of adopting all the issues which my earlier speakers have raised. I am really thankful for providing this opportunity, and the jurists, the lawyers and the judges should come forward to control the international terrorism. Our Prime Minister also, our Chief Justice of India also, our all judges also want that there should be control on international terrorism. Thank you very much.